Welcome to the Chess4Life Spotlight, where we explore the benefits of chess and life with stories from around the world. My name is Elliott Neff, National Master and founder of Chess4Life, and I'm excited to interview today a special guest, Benjamin, from a chess club in a slum in Uganda, Africa, to being part of a Disney live-action film, to university in the US, and a big dream to positively impact others. I'm totally excited to have with us today Benjamin Mukumbya from Uganda, Africa. Welcome, Benjamin.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on here, and we go back quite a ways. Can you share, just to get started, a little bit about yourself, a little bit about where you come from, what you're focused on at this stage of your life, where you live right now, since you've been around the world?
All right. So I'm from Uganda, originally born and raised, and I grew up in the slums of Katwe. And to some of you who have watched The Queen of Katwe, you might recognize some of the places where I grew up. And a few years back, I came to Washington State. That was around 2016 to work with Master Elliott Neff to improve my chess skills. And then while I was there, I got an opportunity to attend Northwest University for my undergrad, where I got my undergrad in biology, pre-med, and then from there I got an opportunity to come to Durham, Duke University, where I'm staying right now, and I'm now pursuing a master's in global health, and I'm hoping to graduate in 2023, and hopefully I'll be joining the workforce to get some skills, as I'm looking forward to heading to med school, where I'm hoping one day I'll become a neurosurgeon.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, Benjamin, in just less than a minute, you covered from growing up in the slum of Katwe, Uganda, which became featured in the Disney movie, The Queen of Katwe, to coming and studying chess in the United States, which is where we connected a little bit, right? Coming to Chess4Life and studying and improving your chess, to going to college at Northwest University in Kirkland, Washington, graduating. Now you're in a master's program studying global health, and with a dream of continuing that to impact. Okay, you did a lot, you covered a lot. Can you back up a little bit here? And let's just take one segment at a time. Can you tell us just a little bit about that starting point, how you got introduced to the game of chess? What was that like?
All right, so yes, some chess academy that's led by Robert Katende really started running the chess program in 2004. And I think I joined the chess program in 2005, where I started to learn chess. And chess was not particularly a game I liked as much as I liked to play soccer, but my mom really forced me to play chess. And in the process, I was like, all right, if I'm being forced, I might as well decide to learn. And about a year later, I represented my son chess academy, and I got to win a trophy. I was like, oh, I think I'm not going to participate in soccer anymore. But I still, so my interest was more tailored towards chess compared to soccer, but I still played soccer and all the way growing up because, well, everybody plays soccer in Uganda if you're a boy. So I played chess, and what started as, it didn't start as something I really did like. It ended up being one of the deepest passions I had as a kid and growing up. And little did I know that in the process, it was also changing the way I saw the world, the way I thought about things. And it was basically transforming the way I was thinking about my entire life. And in that process, Robert was teaching us life skills and of course, having people having the same story. So in a way, I found a community for myself that helped me grow as a person in terms of personal values, spiritual values, and basically it helped me grow holistically as a person. So that was my growing up in Uganda.
Wow. So you loved soccer, you played soccer. Just for one moment here, because many people, especially in North America, Western culture, when they think soccer, they think, teams with all their fancy, shoes and equipment and goalies and green fields and everything. What's soccer like when you were a kid growing up in Katwe?
Well, soccer is a different, well, sometimes we even play with teens if you don't have a ball to play with. It's the spirit behind the game,
You
but
play with
no,
what if you don't have a ball?
you play with tins, plastic tins, like those cans they used to.
Plastic tins.
Yes,
Awesome. You make do
it's
with whatever you have.
exactly, it's the spirit behind it. And I think that's what we enjoy. I guess it's also the community and the people you play with. So yes, and a lot of times you find children playing without shoes or anything. It's the spirit behind it that they really come together and celebrate the game. So yes, that was my growing up, and we could play from anywhere. And I remember growing up in Uganda, basically almost every lunch break we got at school, or we could play. And sometimes people who used to carry the balls, if they didn't bring the balls, we just find anything, we wrap up something and kick that, and it's a
Nice.
fun time.
That's awesome. So then you said that chess, your mom really said you need to go to chess club. So how is that? Is chess club common in the area, or what? How did that lead to you going to the chess club?
Chess club was not common. No, actually, people did not know even what chess meant at the time when I started playing chess. And a lot of people thought it was like a gambling game, and they didn't really understand the concept. And really, they couldn't, if you told somebody what's chess, they couldn't tell you chess is this. They didn't have any understanding of what it meant. So my mom really, my mom was tied to the some chess academy and was really observing the way students behaved. And there was a very serious difference between the students who played chess and those who played soccer.
Interesting. If
In
I
terms
can,
of,
yeah, I was just going to say, in terms of that, because your mom noticed something different from the kids who participated in this chess club that Robert Katende had started in the community. What was it that stood out? And I think you were just starting to mention that.
oh yes, yes. I think in terms of the way the way chess students conducted themselves, it was at a higher regard level compared to the students that really participated in soccer. And they were more respectful, they were more loving, they had a great understanding of life compared to the ones who played soccer in a way. So my mom was like, I want my son to be like them in her heart.
What interesting, because what you're saying here is that your mom noticed that the chess players at that club were more respectful, cared for others. They were focused upon better futures in life, is what I'm hearing. And what I'm not hearing is what sometimes is considered, oh, smart kids must play chess. You got to be really smart and such. I'm not hearing that. So that's really interesting. You bring that out, because at Chess4Life, we certainly agree with that, right? That it's a growth mindset that matters. So it really sounds like Robert Katende built that kind of a mindset into the club.
That's very true. Yes, yes. And as I want to really emphasize that point you say, that a lot of people think that being smart really allows you to really play chess, but that's not really true. If anything, chess, with all these other skills that come with it, actually is a tool and a driver for developing the brains to think better.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So that was your early intro to chess. You were kind of pushed into it and then found that you liked the game. Let's transition for a moment to, your story was part of the bigger story of the Queen of Katwe, which Disney ended up producing a live action film about. Can you share just a little bit about that connection and what that meant?
Right. So, yes. Well, being around Katwe and playing chess in Katwe, and being under the instruction of Robert, and of course, being around the community that really helped Fiona and helped other chess players better their lives. So Disney decided to make a movie from the book that was written by Tim Clothers. By the way, Tim Clothers is in Chapel Hill. So when I came here, he was like, "Oh, Ben is in Durham. I'm gonna go have breakfast with him." So I had breakfast with him and his two children at one of Elmo's Diner.
Nice.
If anybody comes to Durham, they should try out the Elmo's Diner. It's good pancakes and waffles.
We should post a link.
I will. It's good breakfast. I mean, good waffles and pancakes. I love it. So yes, he came to, and we had a wonderful time. The only difference is that I got to Duke and he went to UNC, so we have a rivalry.
Nice, because you're now at Duke University. So
Yes.
anyway, so Disney did this story based upon what had happened there with Fiona Matesi and the Queen of Katwe and Robert Katende's work and all of this. Anyway, ultimately, you ended up coming to the US. I remember we met right back when
Yes.
I was actually over there supporting Robert Katende's work, and you came in to train with Fiona before one of the World Chess Olympiads. And that's where I remember first meeting you, which was really fun to meet you and see this. And then let's talk just a little bit about your chess now, because you were avid chess player at that point. You were training, getting better. You were striving to become one of the best you can be. And then after the movie came out, we invited you and you came to the United States to do a short period of training on chess, as I recall. Can you share a little bit about that experience and what that did for your chess growth and your outlook on life?
Yeah, that was a wonderful time. I remember, I think that was around 2016 when you came to Uganda and you were helping Fiona ready herself for the Chess Olympiad. And well, I was basically tending to the garden and I hear Robert calling and I was like, oh, they needed somebody to basically play a few games with Fiona. And yes, I came. I don't think I played really good chess at the moment because I was not really, I had not practiced. I was in high school, and so I was not really in my good shape. But I don't know. But for some reason, I believe I stayed on. I remember staying on reading, solving chess tactics in books and all that. That's all I remember. But yeah, then Elliott, for some reason, decided to have me come to Washington, where I came, and of course, that's where Chess4Life started. And my stay there, I think, was one of the greatest experience. I got to work hard, and basically, it was 6 months of chess, and basically chess, waking up chess, going to sleep, you're thinking chess, and then going to chess competitions. Yes, my chess improved greatly during that time because if you invest a considerable amount of time, you really do improve. And I think by the time I went back to Uganda to apply for my F1 visa to come back for school, I think I was among the top 10 in Washington State. But yeah, over time, I've transitioned from really being a competitive chess player to teaching chess. I decided to get a teaching certificate in chess from FIDE, and so that I've transitioned from being a very competitive chess player to really teaching and passing down the knowledge to the students that I get. So yes.
So let's talk about that for a sec. You know, you went from pursuing your chess, dedicating yourself to growth. And in fact, you progressed so quickly that I remember that near the end of that 6 months, you competed in a tournament and either tied for second place or even tied right behind first place, I think, defeating Oregon State champion in the process, strong masters. And yet now here you leave the competition in order to focus more upon your path in medical field and at the same time educating and teaching others, even getting a certification teaching. Why is that your switch from pursuing getting as strong as you can in chess and rating in competition to teaching others?
Yes, I do believe chess has a lot to offer. And I think in the United States, we are lagging behind. And it's just happened so recently that Webster just started a minor in chess, but I think that's a move that should be everywhere in every university, teaching chess to students and employing people like you to really instill those skills in our undergrads. Because in Europe, really, some schools are way ahead and they are already doing research, looking at all these benefits that chess offers in terms of to aging communities, to people all the way from the young ages. So chess has a lot of benefits to offer, but here in the United States, or the global community has not really recognized the benefits that chess has. And there are a lot I can mention, very many. I can say, because I can just give a very simple overview. We start with the same resources, but not as you allocate your resources, it determines how the position is shaped. And these are decisions we make. And on an everyday basis, everybody gets to make a decision on how they allocate their resources, really. And that's a lesson you can transfer from the chessboard into real life.
Wow. So what I'm hearing you say is basically like in chess, you start with your 16 pieces, that's your resources. You each have them. But what matters is how do you apply those resources? How do you invest them? How do you maximize or improve them? What do you do with them on the board? And thinking that through carefully is really what we do in life.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's beautifully put. And that segues kind of into some more of the benefits of chess that I like to touch base on. You know, at Chess4Life, we talk about the mindsets of success, the 10 life skills, like you can win, draw, or learn, right? There's no losing when your mindset is learning and improving. Learn to fail fast. Fail meaning first attempt in learning. Embrace the learning, right? That mindset. In chess, you get checkmated. What do? You quit, or do you get better and you learn what happened, right? You build that resilience. So when you think about these mindsets of success and the principles of chess, which one or two would you say have been the most influential in your life, if you can?
They are all equally influential, but I think as I transitioned from really being a very competitive chess player to teaching chess, I started getting a lot of questions. What matrices do you use to really trace the progress of your students? I realized that I think goal setting in ways stands out a little from all of them, because as a teacher, you get to ask questions, and those questions are really to assess the goals that students are making in terms of planning, in terms of setting their own goals. That next time, if I get a draw, I'll be happy from losing to a draw, and then from a draw to a win. Oh, next time, if I don't lose in like 7 moves, I'll be happy. At every level, I think it's very important for us to set goals, small or big. And I think that's very important for each one of us, really. At each level, now I'm in a master's program, but I set goals every day. That's why I think they have like due dates for us. Those are like goal indicators that I completed this, I completed this, I completed this. And I'm also in a research position. It's a new research. I started new research. It wasn't in the Duke community yet. So I started it and I had to set goals every day. I want to accomplish this. I want to accomplish this. And of course, I bring it to the greater community and we discuss those goals we're setting together. So goal setting has, I think, been one of the matrices that I've been thinking about greatly around this as a chess teacher and as a student too. So that I would say
Awesome.
goal setting is one of them. Yeah.
Absolutely. I could not agree more, really, that mindset, that function or that skill of setting a goal or a dream or having it. And what's implied in that is the additional life skill of planning, right? You can set a dream and a goal, and then do you create a reasonable, a smart goal, right? One that is specific and measurable, right? That is actionable, right? Something that you can truly attain. Is it timely? Is it relevant, right? All these elements to make sure it's a smart goal that then has the plan, the steps to achieve it. And that's beautiful, because as a chess master too, I like to say I achieve this because I think backwards in chess. I don't just calculate those moves in front of us. right? Because as you and I know, in the first 3 turns of a chess game, there's over 9 million possible positions, and 4 moves in, it explodes to 280 billion, right? So it's not about the ability to calculate. Computers do calculation. It's about thinking, right? So that goal setting, that dream, the plan to get there, and then execution of the plan with, at the same time, the flexibility to adjust every turn, because life is messy, right?
Exactly.
So anyway, that's beautiful to hear. So you've applied this to your life, and it sounds like you've created quite a goal in your own life, because you went, even when I first met you and you talked about your dreams, it was like even before there was a path, you talked about neurosurgeon. And now you're on the path towards it. So can you share just a little bit about what led you to having that dream, even when you did not see how to achieve it? And then the steps along the path, just a little bit of those elements that allowed you to progress there.
Wonderful. So this is always an exciting moment, because I think on one of my friends, I was in a chess tournament, and they asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was like, well, I don't know. I want to be a doctor. And I really, by the time I said I wanted to be a doctor, I really didn't know that there were different kinds of doctors. There were physicians, there were just very many. So there were surgeons, and I didn't know that. So he asked me, have you ever heard of Ben Carson? I was like, no. I was like, well, next thing I knew, he brought me a book, Gifted Hands. So, and from opening the first page to another, I felt like this is where I belong. I was like, so a dream really emerged from those pages, and I was like, I want to be a neurosurgeon. But little did I know that some other things would come in to influence my decision to be like, I think I need to make a difference if I become a neurosurgeon. And I think one of my friends in my high school got a brain tumor, and I did realize that the deficit we had in my country, that we didn't have enough neurosurgeons. To this day, we don't have enough neurosurgeons in Uganda, because if you look at the population, it's about 45 million people, and the population only has 11 neurosurgeons for the entire country. So the deficit is great and the burden is great. So, but I didn't know that at the time. Today I know, but I didn't know that. I knew that one story that needed the importance of a neurosurgeon. And I was like, I want to be in the shoes to help that one person. And I think that's where my goal started. And of course, I shared my dream with everybody. This is what I want to be. From a very young age, I didn't know how long it would take. I had no idea where resources would come from. And of course, I didn't have the resources too. But I think looking at the dream and speaking towards the dream and sharing the dream with other people, I was very important at the right resources being put onto this path for me to really follow the dream. And as you said, I've came to Northwest University. You can remember that Dr. Castleberry was like, do you have any plans after I graduate high school? I was like, no. He was like, all right, I've given you a tuition scholarship. So God put the right people into the path. And I think sometimes there are things we can control. Sometimes there are lots of things we can't control. And I don't think I could control Dr. Castleberry really offering a scholarship, but it happened. So I don't think, but I do think that we have to dream. And I think it's that once you have a dream and it's like your goal, you want to achieve that.
Yeah.
And every decision you really decide to make, does it align with the dream you really set? If it doesn't, it's just taking you off track. Don't really go for it.
Very, very good point. Without a dream, you're like a ship without a rudder.
Exactly.
But with a dream, every decision is either supporting it or not supporting it.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can be very focused in what you're trying to achieve. Wow. What a story. So you've talked about this. Where do you see yourself in 3 years, in 10 years? What's your biggest dream of your lifetime?
Mm.
What do
Well,
you hope to achieve?
in 3 years, I'll be taking the MCATs and applying for med school, of course. In 10 years, hopefully, I'll be a neurosurgeon. And in a lifetime, I'll be practicing as a neurosurgeon. So that's how it's sectioned. And yes, as I've been here, my desire has been changing to become more academic oriented. So I'm thinking, well, why only go for neurosurgery? Why don't you go for a PhD MD program so that you get more knowledge you can pass on to people that need it in areas that need it. Like my country is one of those places, and there's a really alarming desire for people to learn, but
Wow.
very few people who are capable of passing on that knowledge. But I'm still praying on the PhD MD. I will have a master's by the end of 2023. And then I'll pray I'll get more counseling, and I'll get more people to speak into my life to see, and of course praying about it too, to see if really going for a PhD MD program doesn't take out my time from really going to becoming a neurosurgeon, and also looking into resources, and of course making these decisions. You just don't wake up and you're like, this is what I want to do. It takes in a lot. It's a community that comes around you to support you, community of course, people you know, people you don't know, and people who want you to really join them. So yes,
That's awesome. That's awesome, Benjamin, to hear this and to hear the progress you're making, and, through all the challenges you've done. And we don't have time to go into everything here, but you've also shared at other times about your heart for the communities you've come from, for people who have such need. So when you have achieved the neurosurgeon and such, where do you plan to pursue this? You've mentioned Uganda. Is it your plan to go back to your community, or to stay in the US, or do you know yet? You've mentioned going back even this summer, planning to go back for a period. Can you share just a little bit about where you see yourself applying the skills that you've been developing?
Yes, I think the beauty that comes with a master's in global health, they are really training you to work in all contexts around the world, with something I didn't know at the time. But at this point, I'm like, wow, I feel equipped to work here, to work in Uganda, to work wherever I'll be stationed when it comes. I think as I've been traveling, even here in the United States, a little bit more, I've gotten to see some of the challenging things when you go to some other states. Basically, pain is everywhere, suffering is everywhere, and to a person who wants to help, it doesn't matter where pain and sorrow is. You just want to be there to help the people. But I still have a very, very strong heart for countries that are in Africa, and countries that really do not have enough resources, because a lot of times those people, even though I don't want to talk about, but even the policies in place do not support the people that need to be supported. So those people always need an extra hand. And so my heart is really torn helping those people. And yes, so in a way, I really do not, at a point, I can't be like, this is where I'm going to work and declare that. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well, that is really, really cool, Benjamin. We've got just a couple last questions to wrap up here. And then once we're done those questions, are you up for a chess challenge and take me on in a speed chess game, maybe?
Well, I'm always down for a chess challenge.
Awesome. So a couple last questions, and then we'll end with a fun speed chess challenge. So, you've shared so much here. And what I so appreciate about this is I hear empathy and understanding, care for others, and a desire to make a difference. Not once do I hear a focus upon, I want to be a doctor because of simply personal gain. And that is something that I think is beautiful in what you're doing, in the heart of helping others. So thank you, Benjamin, for doing that. I know it's not been an easy path for you coming from where you are without resources, but doors have opened, and God's opened up many doors for you. do you have a website or anything where people can follow along and learn more about your journey and your path? If you do, could you, I believe you were working on one. Do you have a link that you could share to us and we could post in the comments below the video?
Oh yes, I certainly do
Great.
have a website that I've been a little busy working in this semester. I've not updated it, but I'm planning to start updating it and
Well,
putting.
that would be great. If we can just get the link, we'll post it in comments. This way, what we can do is share this and link it below this video so others can follow along the work that you're doing and the progress that you're making. So thank you for that. Key question now, when you reflect back, I know you're in the middle of your dream and pursuing it, but if you could do it over again, what advice would you give your younger self? Let's say 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever age, what advice would you give your younger self now that you are where you are?
I think being a vicious reader, reading, and reading. Of course, nowadays you have to be very careful with some content you read, but reading is very, very key at shaping who we become. And I would share a poem with you, but it's called the Eve poem, written by I think Kipling Rudyard. I think that's the name.
Kipling
Rudyard Kipling. Yeah, yes, and it's a good poem, and he really puts these scenarios and as he mentions this scenario, and then he concludes, if you really master those things, you will be a man, my son. So he's really trying to pass on the knowledge to the writer's passing on the knowledge to his son. So you can't really understand anything if you don't read.
Wow.
Educated
so the gift
people,
of reading and being careful what you're reading, just
exactly,
kind of like eating. Right?
Exactly.
Very
exactly.
important. And what you eat is also extremely important, because what you eat affects you. What you intake greatly affects you. And I'm hearing that growth mindset in you, right? The desire to learn, the resilience, never give up, the moving forward. And so excited to have you on, Benjamin. Thank you again. Remember, everyone, if you want to learn more about learning chess and the mindsets of success and see more stories like this, we have links below, and be sure to subscribe in order to follow along as we meet more amazing people from around the world. And now, Benjamin, are you ready for a chess challenge?
Of course I am.
Okay, give me 1 sec and we will have a challenge. I'm going to go to chess.com for this one, and I'll see if I can find you on here. Let's see, what username?
My username is, I think it's my last name, Mukumbya.
Okay. Not seeing it right now. Are you online right now?
I am online, Mukumbya.
Yeah. It's not coming up when I search.
Huh.
Oh, there it is. It just wasn't popping up right away. Okay, so I will send you a challenge. Would you like to be 1 minute or 3 minutes?
Let's make it 1 minute.
1 minute. We're going to do a bullet game here. I will send you a challenge. I have no idea what color we're going to have, but are you ready? Get set. Let's do it. I just sent the challenge.
All right, accept.
Oh, I'm going to share my screen as we go. So let me abort this game a sec.
All right.
And I will send you a new challenge as soon as I share screen, just so if people would like to, they can see the game. And who knows, maybe afterwards we can learn something from it, right?
No, exactly.
Okay, share it is. Rematch.
All right. This is pretty fast. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Oh, that's already one good back. Ooh. Lost contact.
Hey, good game, Benjamin. I had to resort to pre-move and move fast because you had me into the position. And as we know, when it comes to bullet games, tactics and time
Oh yeah.
are there. I would bet if we analyze this game, you played some beautiful tactics in there, almost checkmating me. I was kind of amazed by that. So, Benjamin, it has been such a pleasure seeing you again. Absolute best wishes upon your progress in both chess and life and giving back to others as you pursue your dream of neurosurgeon. We look forward to meeting again. And everybody who's watching, remember, at the Chess4Life Spotlight, click the subscribe and you'll hear many more amazing stories of chess and life and impacting our world.
Thank you.